Hello and welcome to the ScreenSteps tutorial. My name is Justin Keel and I'm an instructional designer with the Department of Instructional Technology and Multimedia Services. In this tutorial, we will cover several objectives. First, we will discuss what ScreenSteps software is used for. Then, we will discuss how to have this software installed on your computer. And finally, we'll discuss how to use the basic features of ScreenSteps. So first, what is ScreenSteps? ScreenSteps is a powerful software that makes creating software documentation simple. This software provides screen capture tools that are specifically designed for creating software documentation. With ScreenSteps, you can easily create a document with screen capture images and directions that are in a consistent format. ScreenSteps is available as a standalone piece of software or as part of a workgroup. Here at Allegheny College of Maryland, we have purchased a workgroup license with 2 seats. You may ask, what does that mean? Well, we can install the software on as many computers here at the college as we would like, but only 2 people can use the software at the same time. By using the features of the workgroup, your department can have its own library of documents so anyone can view, edit, print, or post the documents in their shared library. So now, how can I get the ScreenSteps software on my computer? Here at Allegheny College of Maryland, you will first need to submit a help desk ticket to have the software installed on your computer. After the software is installed, you will need to contact Dick Soderman in the ITMMS department to set up your workgroup account. Remember, we only have license for 2 users. So if you receive this error message, it is because 2 people are currently using the software. Once your account is set up, it's time to launch ScreenSteps and begin making your first lesson. Okay, now to begin ScreenSteps, simply double-click on the ScreenSteps icon on your desktop to launch the program. Once the program is launched, you will see your ScreenSteps library on the screen. On the right side of the screen where my mouse is moving is a list of all the lessons you have access to. Now in ScreenSteps, each lesson is then made up of different steps on how to achieve that lesson goal. You can create a new lesson by going up to the top of the screen and clicking on the new lesson icon. Alright, so when you start a lesson, there are no steps. So the first thing to do is to give your lesson a title and then some tags. Now these tags are a way to be able to find your lesson. In our department, we use the name of the tool we're teaching, whether it's going to be used as for an instructor or a student, and other things dealing with that, so we can find them later. These tags are going to be the best way to find anything, so you or your department will have to decide how best to tag your lessons, so you'll be able to find them. I'll just tag mine with ScreenSteps and Instructor. So that now I can be able to find that. This little red dot next to it just means that this lesson isn't finished. That can always be changed to needs reviewed if you want other people to look at it, or approved, and that'll change from red to yellow to green, so that people in your work group know what's going on with that lesson. Now, like I said, each lesson is made up of steps. So if this was about ScreenSteps, or you could teach somebody how to use maybe your Blackboard learning management system, or anything that's on your computer, is easily done using ScreenSteps. So I could say, hey, I want to add a first step. Well, maybe first I want to add a lesson description. So then this will all show up in your documentation. to create a step, you simply create new step in lesson icon, and it makes a new step. The first line is what you're going to title this step. Down at the bottom is the step text. So in this step, you put what you're going to do in that step, in the first step. Alright, so if we were getting into ScreenSteps, the first thing I told you we would need to do is to double click on the ScreenSteps icon. So I would put that in my step, and then this little camera here allows us to select whatever's on our screen to use as an image. So I can click on the capture step image. Let's see here. And this just took me to my my internet browser. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic to make this part. But if I wanted to say, oh, okay, this was my icon, I would highlight using ScreenSteps. Whatever part of the screen I wanted to highlight, I should have minimized my browser before I did this. I hit enter after I select whatever I want to, and whatever I selected shows up in my step. Alright, so if I didn't like that, I can select it, I can hit delete, I can delete that image. Now that I've minimized my browser, I can say, okay, I want to add a different image. Alright, here's my desktop, and I wanted to tell everybody to select the ScreenSteps icon on your desktop. So let me highlight a couple of icons here. They're moved in there. Now, I want to differentiate which icon I want to click. So after I clicked on this picture, near the top, I've got more options here. I can blur things, so if I don't want anybody to know that I have SoftChalk installed on my computer, I can click on the blur tool, and I can create a blur here, so somebody knows there's an icon there. This is especially handy if you're trying to show other teachers how to do something, and maybe potentially you have student data on your screen, or maybe a username or password that you don't want others to know. You can easily blur it out so nobody knows what it is. I can add text. I can circle things, so I could put an oval. I could put an oval right here. Right here, ScreenSteps. I can do a rectangle. I can create a line, so if you still didn't know that that was it, I could put an arrow there. Sequence. Sequence is nice because if you have a picture where there's 1 or 2 or 3 things going on there, you could click on sequence and you can click them in order. So first would be this, next would be this, third would be this, and it just, as you click on the picture, it puts them in order. And then if you go to your regular arrow tool, you can still move things around. You can also make your picture larger or smaller. Underneath your picture, there's a size. This is at 100%. I could make it 50%. I can make it a little smaller. I can make it larger. Alright, so that's a step. I mean, I did it as soon as I'm doing it on the computer. I can click with the picture. I can also copy this picture to the clipboard. I can export this picture so I could save it as a file, as a graphic file. And as soon as I'm done with that, I can just click next step. I can type in whatever the next step is and continue this way. As soon as I get all my steps in, up at the top, I have a spell check, so I can check the spelling. And then whenever I want to share this with people, there are several different ways that I can share this. With my faculty members or other teachers or students in my class, if I was showing them step by step how to do something in Microsoft Word or another program, I can simply go to my lesson up here. I can click on export. I can export it in a Word format. I can export it in a PDF format as HTML so that I can put it on a website. And if you have it set up certain ways, if you have, for example, a WordPress blog, ScreenSteps integrates with that. You can directly export something to your blog. Typically what we do is export as a PDF. So once I export that as a PDF, Let me just put this in a specific folder. My documents. Well, let me just put it on the desktop here. I'll call it ScreenSteps 100. That way I can find it. Alright, so it did that. It's going to show me where it put it. ScreenSteps 100. I can open that file. And now you'll see it actually takes that and puts it in a nice format in a PDF. So it puts the title of the lesson at the top. It puts your description underneath of it. And then we have a template set up, so this is how our template for Allegheny College of Maryland works. The first step is highlighted. That's the name of the step. Then the directions of what to do in the step, and then a nice little graphic of that step. So I can also look at, here's a document with multiple steps. This is a document that another person in our department created to go through ScreenSteps and each step that you'll go through. And you can see here's each step. Some steps have pictures, some steps do not. So now you're seeing here's a step with a picture in it and some text on how to access that. So ScreenSteps is a very easy program to use, and it's very quick to get documentation of how to use a computer program, how to use a piece of software. Thank you for taking the time to watch the ScreenSteps tutorial. If you have any additional questions about ScreenSteps, you can feel free to contact me through the help desk for any additional questions on ScreenSteps.